for the past months, no, you who say a year Chief Justice Mami get through Torkornoo, a idea and who said no, I back and forth, Ghana Hanum say you say, ye, you know, seeing you know any idea. And I'm so I am a Chief Justice every year press conference. I know what you say. I'm out for bebre born in training. Say won't find a debre and to honum say Chief Justice. Na a fade won't jai debre ni muboko. Or no so chemu say emra a dear Juma Ghana Hanum say sans no ankasano or yemra ni muni. And yadia emran Emma who quines na say or yes I pay na say Edin Sunsan so kesia pa and a babe to a yo no na brabo our bunini na eni ni dibre ni ade a wokra nyina no na che said do how kese ebeba beto so na eno na amanfo bebre I reacted to a year in the press conference e bi che say press conference na enwu hia so obeye press conference e bi so che say mfa so bi e bi so che say it was very important to the extent say hands have been pointed to a year the NPP so omo eno mo taye chire a omo Chief Justice ni kutupa mane be yes our press conference no Edison same when nyina ebetu dwe bi che say kasa bebrebe ne emfa hwemba obe resign ya ye na resign na no na the government spokesperson Shamima waba be kasa ede afa Chief Justice ne nsema wode to dwa during the press conference no na wo chemu say ma me na kasa no press conference na wo frey no utie ne nsema wo kana can I say the person who attack the president John Dramani Mahama bisa because utie ne what no ene ne numu nsema wo kikana as a indirect attack on the president. Shamima ato ne bo achechwe ensem we mu yie pa jem say in fact the Chief Justice nankasa no say na entwa yie say well yes our press conference no in the first place abusia press conference baako problem bebre it's a problem e dia ba no enya de ebetimi asoa e wo krodue mu hanom say yenkotie said de Shamima wo cheche ensem we mu esi fi.
And number one question, the first one is Chief Justice one directed say no man ko ye no one directed towards the president, but rather no.
It was inherently implied in many aspects of the statement yesterday. And, yes, because it's inherently. Now, because that independent committee, what interest do they have to remove the Chief Justice? If I'm sure those members of the committee interest then and or more. The source is that a president acted on a petition before it. A petition that Chief Justice Nankasa Enyim. So once such a petition comes before him, as we have seen in the past, where petitions were put before the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who forwarded things, and it led to the removal of heads of a constitutionally established body like the Electoral Commission. And see, the Chief Justice Nani said, the petition ever President table so. Now, who say maybe issues that are raised in that petition require further looking into. By the Constitution, he could only do one thing, refer it to the Council of State, and then act on the recommendations of the Council of State. That recommendation was to act based on a prima facie determination, say, okay, issues now more easy, you hear a different forum to go into them into detail, and to also grant the accused person the right to defend themselves. And the Chief Justice on to me and can say that process was breached. And I think that some of the claims are that, or feel say process law is more of a litigation than an inquiry or kind of
Mm-hmm.
But how do you determine the approach panel members in a process like that, which is a quasi-judicial process, How do you say their approach is not to your liking, empty? It exposes a certain veiled interest. But all these are germane to the process that's ongoing. Because maybe here the likes of Ansa Saria, I think their worry is that the Chief Justice, Edim said, or having issues with processes now, there is a right avenue to seek redress. How does that avenue become the court of public opinion? A court that Onwan Kasa in the past, most respectively, have had cause to describe as making noises, and that no matter the noise that this court of public opinion makes, no, the law would always be the law. But many will say himself, this law that she describes as the law is not always an objective, doesn't lend itself always to an objective understanding. Because the same provisions of the law can almost be interpreted differently by lawyers, different, even judges. Yeah, even Supreme Court judges that are empaneled to look into matters. Unless they become unanimous, there's always also a dissenting opinion on the same subject matter. So the position of the law being the law is not to suggest that the law doesn't lend itself to different interpretations. And that, yes, judges have been clothed with superior powers to make the determination or the interpretation of the law that stands. And see, in all fairness, the law can be interpreted differently. And even our judicial system accepts that judges are not perfect. Judgments are not perfect. Inherent in the logic process of the judiciary. That is why we have avenues for redress. What do I say? High Court. Na anko say na ope say nkoma. What made the court of appeal? The court of appeal cry a take decision. Jim Tuma. What made the court? Supreme Court. The matter of interpretation of any aspect of our constitution is involved. In fact, Supreme Court cry a take decision every year. Na also say decision no. And to assume I don't know if that's how to say it. And to assume. Ultimately, invoking on more jurisdiction to review their own decision. So I think that the people we must hold to the standards of near perfection are our judges. Because ultimately it changes the life and destiny of people by their decisions. Must be held to stricter standards than the average man, than even the other legs of government, and the executive and the legislature, because it is judges that can take the liberty of individuals